Welcome to Royally Unhinged, the podcast where we talk all things marketing, networking, and wizardry. Hocus pocus! It's everything you needed to know, didn't know you needed to know, and a little bit of extra. I'm one of your co-hosts, Princess Paula, and my other lovely co-host,
Tara B.
And together we are
Royally Unhinged.
Okay, friends, today you are in for a treat. I'm on my second monster of the day. Tara is just trying to...
I'm just trying to coast by, but I actually have things today printed.
We are ready. But we had a lovely event. We just came from an event.
Yes.
It was a great event.
It was a wonderful women's networking event, forum, summit thing.
Well done. It was called the Women's Leadership Forum, and it's put on by the Dakota County Regional Chamber of Commerce.
Yes.
And listen to one of our other podcasts that we did on networking and chambers, and it's a great, great chamber.
We're Scottish today.
You never just know. Oh, heavens to Betsy, you guys.
Oh, this is going to be fun.
It's going to be a good one.
It's going to be great.
I am quite excited. On today's podcast, we are going to talk all things franchises. Now, hold on to your hats, because if you're sitting there thinking, but I am not a franchisee, I don't have a franchise. Are you talking about French fries? Like, what is exactly going on?
Only if there's ranch.
What? What are you talking about?
French fries and ranch?
Ew! Are you?
Oh!
What?
Ooh, dude, you have to try it.
Okay.
It's the best thing in the world.
Now, as a Canadian, I do vinegar and ketchup on my fries.
No.
I have had mayo.
No.
Dipping my French fries in mayo.
It's not the same.
Never have I ever.
That's one of the only things that I will constantly.
Fascinating.
Yeah.
If you have a franchise, don't dip your franchise in ranch. But if you have French
Unless
fries
your franchise is about ranch.
or French fries.
It could be.
All right. Let's just dive in head first.
All right. So after that.
Grab your water wings, folks. We're going in the deep end.
So I want to dive right in because what this one is really about is about franchise marketing in general and what franchisees are allowed to do, are not allowed to do, might have gray area and all that stuff. So I wanted to first start off with corporate guidelines.
Can I take us one step back? Would you permit me?
No.
Okay.
Yes.
Just be quiet, Paula. Sit in the corner and look cute. I just wanted to preface this.
What a franchise is.
Or that too. That too. But
Take
our
back.
experience with this.
Yes.
Because just so that people don't think we're just spouting off
Well,
because
and
we
that's
don't like
what
franchises.
I'm kind of going into
I'll be
with
quiet.
this one. So basically, if you don't know what a franchise is, it's you can buy into a certain package sort of thing that you, territorial wise, like you have that brand, that company in a specific territory that only you can really market to. You can't really cross over into other territories. The corporate world of the franchise doesn't like that. All that stuff. But
it's not a bad idea. If I wanted to open up a business and I was like, okay, I'm going to start a franchise, I call up the corporate and said, hey, can I open up one of your stores down the street?
Yeah.
And I pay them whatever, 10, 30, 50, 80, $200,000 to open up a store that's part of their franchise.
Yeah. But then you're the owner of that. You go out, you do the networking, you do all the things. And a lot of the times what I've actually seen, because I worked with a couple different franchises in the past, is that they typically network off each other and play off each other anyways. So if one, see last episode or one of the last episodes, if one place doesn't do it, they outsource it to another one of their franchises. So it's kind of like their own little mini network. So it's really great.
We've both worked with franchises. I've worked for a national franchise. So
I have too.
we have our...
Yeah.
So we
know our poo.
We know... as in Winnie, the dot.
Yes.
Right. So we've had clients that are franchises. Like we have circled everywhere around the franchise, everything other than owning one.
Yeah.
So that's where we're
Which
coming
I was
at
close
this
to
from.
At one point.
Really?
Mm.
Do tell.
It was when I worked at Minuteman Press, one of the franchises.
We love you, Minuteman Press.
We love you. Actually, that was one of our phrases. We love Minuteman MMP. And I was part of the Minuteman Press girls that I designed the whole brand for, and it was a whole thing. Very 50s style. Whatever.
I love them. They're great.
There's a whole other story about that. But no, I worked for the one in Oakdale, and they were acquiring more locations, so they wanted me to take over one of the new locations. So I was close, and then I quit, and then I started in marketing, and here I am today. So long story short,
Wow.
there we go.
The more you know.
But what I wanted to talk about for franchises, as they are super fantastic, and not all franchises are created equal. Some of them allow you to do more things than others. But what I wanted to focus on was the actual guidelines that can limit the creativity.
Mike Wazowski.
Oh, she's back.
This is the bane of my frustration with franchises.
It's so difficult to allow them to be able to be creative in their own ideas, because basically you're buying into a package and you like have to stay within.
Which I get.
No, I totally understand.
It's touch time, touching Tara. You as a super awesome touching you. Oh, I
started way later.
Wow, okay.
Sweet Caroline.
Bum, bum, bum.
Okay, anyways.
Oh, that's what we're singing. Still not with you. Another sip of Monster. I need to get them to sponsor my life.
Probably.
So, you being the super awesome marketing person that you are, if you were to create a brand for a company and you are locked in logo, tagline, colors, everything, you would want them sticking with the brand that you created.
Totally.
So I get where the franchises are coming from insofar as if someone has created a brand, it's a really big brand, you want to make sure that they don't go off brand.
Yes, so they have to follow the pre-approved brand, the guidelines, the messaging, the strategy, like all of that stuff. But here's the problem with that. It doesn't necessarily focus on the local needs, the local market.
Yeah, I was so hoping you were going to say that.
And I'm going to rope that right into, and this is because I have experience doing this with a franchise before. I tried to work with a franchise on managing their Google Ads campaign.
Google,
the Googler.
Otherwise known as your PPC. Yeah, you know me.
I'm your PPC.
Yeah, you know me.
Okay. So, but what is really hard, especially with doing like pay-per-click stuff, or it's the amount of times that I had to fight against what corporate was saying that the franchise level, local level campaign needed to be.
So annoying.
They were in it so deep in what I was saying. And hey, there's a way to do everything. There's so many different ways to do everything. So I'm not saying what they were doing was wrong, but they weren't like in the local area of this franchise. So how could they know exactly what that franchise, like what politics wise or just
exactly, they don't have boots on the ground.
Like they don't have boots on the ground. That's the phrase I was looking for.
And that drives me batty because depending on where the corporate office is, let's just say it's in New York. What life in New York looks like, culture, standard of living, everything in New York is very different than here in the Twin Cities, which is very different than somewhere in Georgia. So I agree.
In short of it, she agrees. But it's not even just like, even on a bigger level, it's, I'm going back to Google Ads again. So with Google Ads specifically, like I can't tell you how many times that I end up hopping on the phone with a rep from one of my clients' campaigns. And they're like, you should be doing this. You should be doing this. I'm going to tell you, my Google Ads rep is not in my backyard. They are like way over across Timbuktu.
Okay.
They don't know what's going on in my industry, what my focus is. They haven't sat down and gone through a SWOT analysis with me and what my strategy is and what my goals are in my life. There's been a time that I've actually, one of the franchises that I worked with, they had all of the suggested Google Ads stuff. Sorry, a little bit off the rails. But all the Google Ads stuff that Google was suggesting was focused on auto body and not auto repair. That's two entirely different industries.
Okay, let's pause here for a moment just to keep people up to speed. So if you are part of a franchise, then you are paying a franchise fee. And it depends. It's always a different percentage. But you are paying your corporate or your head office a franchise fee. And part of that franchise fee, there's usually some that's involved in marketing. So you are paying your corporate office a certain amount of money, and they're going to do things for you from a marketing branding perspective. Often Google ads are a big one. And if you're sitting here going, what's a Google ad? Well, anytime you've ever gone to ye old Googler and you start typing something in and you see those first results that pop up that say sponsored, and they're the very first ones at the top of the page, those are your Google ads. So you are paying to play. You're paying to be at the top. And fun fact, if you ever want to have some fun, every time somebody clicks on one of those ads, you get charged for it. So you can Google your competition and just click on those sponsored.
You just gave people so much ammo right
you
now.
Can, I'm just saying.
That's supposed to be a trade secret.
Okay, we'll see who's really listening to our things.
We'll see.
Any hoodly. So those are your Google ads. And so many franchises are just like, we'll pay for Google ads for you. Like that's the big thing they bring to the table.
But then they have somebody else that's managing it. And that's kind of where it's like the lack of control, because there could be something very specific that's going on in that community. And the corporate doesn't know that. So they have something else going on, and it's like not reflecting what's happening in the community.
And what you just said, what you just talked about. So again, if you own a business, you need to know this. What Tara was just saying,
touching again,
was when you set up your Google ads and you're working in Google, you have to select the words that your business, your industry is going to be part of. So if I was looking for car repair versus car roof repair versus car tire repair, like all of those are slightly different. And Google is going to look at all of those words. So it's having someone in your circle that's going to know that in your area. Like we have a lot of snow. Things here are going to be more snow related, whereas a franchise down in Florida is going to be different.
I'm so glad that you just said that, because that goes into my next comment.
Wouldn't you know?
That corporate likes to, or has the ability to push certain promotions that not necessarily are going to work in certain regions versus others. So there might be national wide, whatever franchise. I don't know. Give me a random franchise. She got nothing.
Tim, I was thinking, who can I mention that would be appropriate? Well, nobody's sponsored. We mentioned no one. Well, why don't we do our friends, Pat and Amber, because they're going to be on, and they are sponsoring.
Okay, they are. So Pat and Amber.
With Board and Brush.
Yes, with Board and Brush. We'll be talking with them at the Woodbury Expo, so you'll hear more about them later. But they own a franchise, so they have to go off of what Board and Brush, their promotion that they're putting out. And this is a national, it's not just focused in Minnesota or Wisconsin, it's national. So promotion for I don't know, maybe there's like surf lessons or something that you can get for free. Like, hey, Minnesota, Wisconsin, we don't surf. Well, you might, but not here. So it's like, it might not. Yeah, if they say part of the money you're paying to us this month, like part of the franchise fee, is we've put together a promotion for surfing. So you'll get all of this stuff for surfing. And the people here are like, well, that's useless for us. Yeah, or it's like or surfing sign or something like that. Yeah. Something to get a discount on a surfing sign. And they're like, well, you might do it when you're on a vacation, but that's not really the focus here. Like, what if you think about Minnesota, Wisconsin, what's your main focus? Probably hunting, hockey, farming. The outdoors. That's what you think about. So it's cheese. By the way, we are going to have my girl Brie, that girl Brie. There we go. Also at the Woodbury Expo. Speaking of cheesy people. Cheese. So anyways, it's just not, it's not cool. Well, again, so a franchise, the corporate headquarters is trying to provide value to all of their franchisees. But the problem is there's differences in the geographic area. Yeah. So geographic, culture, and to your point, maybe what's happening politically, different climates, there might be something going on where they need to focus on something. Yeah. And we've seen this. I've been in the restoration franchise. You're dealing with roofing, different things like that. Well, sometimes there's some parts of the country that there's ice storms, there's floods, hurricanes, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, they just had a huge hailstorm down in... What the hail? Down south. Language. Hail. I said hail. I know you did. But I'm like Captain America here or something. Language. But that brings me to my next point too, and I kind of already mentioned it, is misaligned goals. So the goal
Mm.
of the overall corporate franchise could be different of what that business owner's franchise is in
It's
that
money.
area. Well, yeah, for corporate, yeah, it's going to be money. But for like maybe depending on the month, there's a franchise that or a franchise owner that they really want to focus on I don't know, growing their t-shirt sales because there's a local nonprofit that has their walkathon or something like that. So like for that month they were going to focus on that. Well, corporate is going to decide, because we want to give you hand towels this month or something. I don't
Oh,
know.
yeah.
So like it doesn't always add up.
Well, and the problem when you have a franchise, so you've paid all this money into a franchise. So I just had a conversation this week with someone. We had a Zoom because we were doing a bit of a strategy session. So they're already paying all of this money monthly to corporate office. As a franchise, they're like, we're giving you all this money and you have promised corporate to help us with marketing, to get us leads, to do our things. So then when you want to do something different, to your point, okay, I want to have a bunch of t-shirts. Now you're paying out of pocket. So you're already having to pay your percentage to corporate, but now you have to pay even more. And I've heard time and time again, franchise owners, the same thing where they say, what do I get for my money? What do I get for this percentage I have to pay to corporate? And for the two of us from a marketing perspective, what we're saying is, that's all well and good that you're paying this percentage to your corporate and they are helping you with things, but it's like they're handcuffing you at the same time. They're limiting you, or that money could be better spent somewhere else.
Well, and think about a franchise owner just from being an owner of a business. What is one of the main goals? Especially if you're a new owner of a business, what is your main goal that you want to do? You need to drive sales. You need to bring in that money. Well, from a corporate standpoint at that point in time, it's probably a brand consistency. So those are two very different goals of being, trying to get more sales in, because those French cheese eyes apparently now. But they have numbers that they have to hit too, being a franchise owner. So that's like, so they're trying to drive the sales in. Corporate's like, we just want all of our stuff everywhere. Like we're not going to help you on the sales part. We're going to help you on the branding part, which that is all part of marketing, but it makes it so difficult for franchise owners to again have that say in their own business.
Right. And I mean, I get it. If I created something cool, let's say we, with this podcast, this becomes the next thing. This is crazy.
It is the next thing.
It is. But let's say there's other people that, well, okay, this isn't a good example. Because if you're out there and you want to have a royally unhinged, too bad. But I can understand if we created something really, really cool, and it was really popular and it was catching on and people were traveling from all over to buy whatever it is that we made, we'd be like, yeah, let's start franchising this. Let's have it so that people can do them. I get all of that. And if we started it and we created it, it's our baby, it's our brand. We want to make sure that people don't dilute the brand.
Yeah. Having that brand guide, you're following it.
Get that.
I do too.
I respect that. You don't want someone going off the rails with your brand, with your franchise. But I've seen it, it often goes too far.
Yeah.
Where, I've tried to work with some clients and I'm kind of like, can we do this? Can we do that? And they're like, nope, not allowed, not allowed. And then I go, so what is corporate doing for you? Well, nothing really. So we can't do any of these options, but that's not working. So where does that leave you?
It's really like for the franchise owner that they really just bought in to have the name of something that's already established. And that's not a bad thing. That's a very smart thing to do. Like, it's already there. You have some tools, but then again, it comes back to, no, we can't do this. We can't do this. Even a lot of the time I come across on websites too. Franchise websites. I hate.
How do you feel about them?
I hate.
But do you like them?
Loathe them.
Why?
So,
because they're so generic and you have to put in your zip code to find out where your local location is?
Yeah. Okay. So it's on different levels. Different franchises do it different ways. You can have it, and I've worked with a mortgage company before where each mortgage broker has their own specific website that's under their name, their domain name, or something like that. But you get a one-pager. It's like, and this is specifically for mortgage brokers
and realtors.
in realtors, but like you get a one pager that has your picture. It's very generic, square picture, no flashy stuff. It has where you focus, maybe MLS or something connected to it or whatever. Super, super generic. I've also gone on the other side of it where I've been able to work with a franchise owner to customize a little bit more, be able to put blogs out on their website. But here's the thing that really bothers me. They still don't have their own website. They don't have
It's just a page within.
It's a page within the franchise website.
Interesting.
So
so from like an SEO perspective and stuff.
So if it's John Deere, sorry for John Deere people. I'm just random name that popped in my head. If it's johndeere.com and it's a franchise, you buy into a franchise over in Stillwater. Instead of johndeerestillwater.com or Stillwater of John whatever, it's johndeere.com/Stillwater.
Right.
So you don't have your own website.
Oh, you don't have your own domain.
You don't have your own domain. It's John Deere's.
Interesting. So
and a lot of the time.
So why are you saying, just for our listeners and watchers who might say, what's the big deal?
So first of all, you don't have, and again, I understand the franchise level that there's brand guidelines and all that stuff, but you do not have the authority. You do not have admin access
to change your website.
If you want to change anything on it, most of the time, I would say at least 80% of the time, you have to reach out to corporate to have them change stuff on the website.
Do you know why, Tara? Because one person ruins it for everybody.
Pretty much.
There's always going to be that one franchisee that goes out, starts putting
it up for everybody
and
else.
then they crack down, and nobody's allowed to change your you're allowed to have your one little website where you can put a few pictures and maybe update like a special, but otherwise it's got to just be across the board.
So that's reason number one. Reason number two, I know why corporate does it. I know why they do it, because they have their overarching national brand that they want focused on SEO. But for the small guys, the individual franchise owners, that is not necessarily the best route SEO wise, because if it's johndeere.com/ Google's indexing johndeere.com/ Stillwater. It's not focused on, it's all about how you put the keyword phrase, and especially now with AI stuff, with SEO and voice SEO that's coming into play. Like, SEO is so much more important these days.
Yes.
Than anything.
Okay, we got to pause here for a minute, because we want to make sure that if you're listening right now, you didn't start tuning out because you're like, all of a sudden you just heard blah, 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 SEO, blah, blah, like, this is also why it's really good to have someone looking at your website. That if you just created a website yourself or a web page for yourself, have someone like Tara, have someone that's in the biz do a website audit, take a look at your website just to see what's going on, to make sure it's good. I also want to say, though, as I'm listening to your talk, this is also why having a Google business page is also so important, because if you can't have your own website as a franchise, having a Google business profile is going to be super, super important.
That is like the next best thing.
We are just hopeless today. Heavens to Betsy, kids.
It's the next best thing.
What she said.
Because where do people go? And I love to share when I do my BNI presentations. There's BNI again. But when I pull out the stats for the market share for the US of what search, what search platform, close enough, is used most for that entire year. So I always pull up those stats. Guess what's number one, guys? For the last 6 years, Google has been 97% of the United States uses
And if
Google.
you're out there wondering what else is there, there's like Firefox, there's Ask Jeeves.
No, that's not even what. Ask Jeeves is not around anymore. Or is it ask.com?
I remember that.
Ask.com.
Ask Jeeves.
No.
Yahoo.
It's Google, it's Bing, it's Yelp, it's DuckDuckGo, It's like these are the ones. These are the top ones.
Duck, duck, goose or duck, duck,
It's
gray duck?
DuckDuckGo.
No, I'm asking you.
No, it's DuckDuckGrayDuck. If you're
Friends,
listening,
if you're watching or listening, is it duck, duck, goose or duck, duck, gray duck? It's duck, duck, goose.
No, it's not.
It is.
It's because she's from Canada.
Word.
I literally have this conversation with almost anyone from Minnesota. Ask anyone from Minnesota or Wisconsin. It's duck.
What's the other one? Duck, duck, go? I've never heard of this.
DuckDuckGo. Yeah, that's the search thing. But now there's all these new ones that are coming out that are AI focused now too. So it's like
that is the catch. That is the catch sometimes in this space. That's why it's so important to have someone in your corner. If it's me, if it's Tara, we'll help you. Otherwise, go find someone that can help you with these things, because as a business person, business owner, business worker, business doer, you are busy doing the business.
mm-hmm.
You don't have time for this stuff, but it's changing daily, hourly. It's just advancing all the time. So you need to make sure, because once you create a web page, you're not done. You might be thinking, oh, we have a website, we have a web page, we're good to go. Check that box. No, it needs to be updated. Like even your Google business profile, don't get me started. If you have a Google business profile, you need to be updating it twice a week.
And most people don't know. Do you remember when it was Google Plus? And then Google Plus like crashed and burnt. So Google decided to have their own social media platform, which is called Google Plus. Google Plus did not do anything, and it crashed and burned. So this is a little side note, not about franchise, just in general. So Google Plus crashed and burned, and nobody used it, nobody liked it. But the only thing that was kept with that, because the only thing that people actually liked was the posting part of it.
Interesting.
So what did Google do? They used your Google My Business profile, and they infused the posting part from Google Plus into your Google My Business profile. So you can now put out updates if you have...
Well, you're supposed to.
Well, no, I know, but that's what that part is. The update is the posting part that was adopted from Google Plus.
And in case you didn't know, it used to be Google My Business, and now they changed it to your Google Business profile. Anyhoodly, make sure you have somebody in your corner that's going to help you with this stuff. So quick, we have a couple minutes left before we're going to put a bow on this, but we might come back at some point because this is big with franchises. Keep going. More thoughts on your paper?
Well, I guess it's just, in general, it's like just navigating the challenges for franchise owners, and how is there some way that we can tell them how they can try and navigate around some of these things? Because especially with one that I referred you to recently, they were put in a pigeonhole. There's not a whole lot that they can do.
Oh, it's so hard. And they only have so many monies.
But
they want to be found. And they bought a franchise because, again, you know the name. You're like, this is a great name. It's a successful business. We should be able to make a lot of money. And then you go to try to advertise for yourself as a franchisee, and you're like, we're not allowed to do this. You get the booklet of what you're not allowed to do. And we come alongside you and say, okay, we got some marketing and branding ideas for you. We got some great promotion ideas. And it's like, nope, nobody, nope. Okay. Well then.
I have two things.
Oh, please go.
So first thing, that is very simple for you to do as a franchise owner if you are pigeonholed by corporate, get involved in the community.
Yes, that's what I just told the person this week. Networking.
And sponsorships.
Yes, that too.
So those are two amazing things. And normally, especially with a sponsorship piece, that sponsorship money goes towards something amazing. So find something that works for you and works for you as a franchise that meshes well with your goals, and find some event, something that you can put your name to and get that branding piece out to help.
And if you're asking, when she's talking about sponsorship, you can go sponsor a hole at a golf course. You can sponsor a table. You can be a sponsor. The event that we were just at today, there's events all the time through your chamber, through your communities where they need sponsors. And that's just giving whatever, $50, $100, $1,000, $10,000. You're being a sponsor. They're going to put your name all over everything, and they're going to brand your name.
And you can also sponsor Royally Unhinged, the podcast.
Yes.
If you would like. And this would be where we would insert your name.
If you are a franchisee, we would love to have you be a sponsor of our podcast, and we'll talk we'll do product placement. Nothing to see here. We will do product placement for you and your franchise.
Ooh, we should have a coffee sponsor
of the day.
That'd be awesome. I had one other thing that can be useful. It kind of goes against what I really like, but it can be very beneficial for franchise owners, is working with local influencers too. So they can promote your product without going against corporate guidelines.
Look at you. That's a great idea. How do you find, let's say I'm a franchisee, how do I find a local influencer? Like, do you mean like a news person? Like a media person?
It could be a news person. It could be, like, let's just say I'm buying into Mary Kay or something like that. Like, I'm a Mary Kay
crumble
person.
cookie.
Or crumble cookie. Okay, I'm a crumble cookie person.
They're a franchise.
I know, that was just like crumble cookie person. But if I'm working, I lost my train of thought. I looked at the time.
Influencer.
Yes. So if I'm a cookie person, there's you can go to
Was there like an influencer page?
No.
Oh.
I mean, you can normally find them on social media channels.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Right.
Or if you know for a fact that John Doe from the TV network up the road really likes to go to the bakery and gets cookies, you could even go talk to him and see if he would be, because he's a TV personality and all that stuff.
There's always options.
There's options.
If you talk to Tara and I, if you are a franchise owner, you know a franchise owner and you know that they're kind of frustrated, come and talk to us, because we are out of the box thinkers. We'll help you think of things like that. And again, we totally respect that franchises want to stay on brand. They need to stay on brand. They're going to have all of those things that they need to stay in alignment with.
Just take us to coffee. We'll have a conversation about it.
Yeah.
How we can figure out a plan for you.
And this is something that we've worked through. We share your frustration. We understand your frustration. And if you work for corporate, listen to the people that do have boots on the ground, because listen to what they're telling you and work with them. Work with your franchisees to help come up with things that will work for them so that they can make money.
Mm-hmm. Truth.
There you go. All right. Next time on Royally Unhinged is going to be another great topic, but you'll have to tune in to find out what that is, because I'm not giving you a teaser because
it's
I'm
good.
cheap.
It's good though. It's a good one. All of them are good ones. So just like, subscribe, all the things. If you liked what we were talking about, there's going to be so many more things. So just keep following us week to week. It's a long list right now, you guys. So we got stuff to come.
Let us know if you want to sponsor Royally Unhinged so we can talk about your awesome business and all the cool things that you're doing. And until next time, I'm your co-host, Princess Paula.
I'm Tara B.
And together, the two of us are
Royally Unhinged.
Boop-a-doop, boop-a-doop.